Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look at the left hand side of the screen, you see a given figure which we are told to draw this given figure in isometric projection. So when you hear the word isometric projection, the first thing you have to do is for you to draw the principal axis, which is the isometric axis, the x, y, and z axis. So if I should take my instrument and I come here, I am going to draw my y-axis this way, right? And I'm also going to draw my z-axis this way, and I'm also going to draw my x-axis this way. So this is x, y, z. Now after that, we need to look at the figure carefully, and if you look closely, this side is where my arrow is pointing, and we need to know the entire length of this side. Now we only know from here that from the beginning of this point to here is what, 56, but we don't know from this end to this end. But if you take it up, discover that from this end to this end is something as saying from this end to this end, and that is what, 64. So you're going to say 64 plus 56, right? And that's going to give us what, 120. So I'm going to take my meter rule and I'm going to measure 120 at this end here, right? So from 0 to 120. So let me take it down a little bit so you see what I'm talking about. So from 0 to 120. Hope you can see that. And the next thing is the entire height. If you look at the height now, this is from this end to this end, right? And that is 36 plus 36, which will give us what? 72. So I'm going to measure my entire height, which is giving us as what? 72. So from 0, and this is what we have here to be 72 here. And the entire, this side you see here, is this side my arrow is pointing, and the entire length there should be the diameter of the semicircle, but it is not given. So if you go forward from here to here, saying from here to here, which is what, also 76. So I'm going to measure 76 at this end here, from 0 to 76. Can you see that? Now I'll use it to form a box. Once I take this, and I will take this one up, placing it on my instrument this way. Hope you can see that. And I'll take this up. I'll come here too, and I'm going to take this up too. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing is to use it to form a box. So at this height, I'll place it. What I used to draw this base here, I'll move it on my T-square when it gets to this point. Then I'm going to draw it to touch the other end here. Hope you can see that, right? Now the next thing is I'll do the same thing here also, from this end to touch this other end here. Can you see that? Now I need to complete this. So this is what I'm going to do here. So still have the same thing. I'll place it from here, and I will do this. Can you see that? And I'm going to close this one too. To where they meet, they are meeting at this point here. Are we together? So once we've done that, The next thing is for us to start carving our image out of this given figure here. So first of all, I will like to start from the side here to draw that semicircle, right? So we know very well that there's a curve at this point here, but the thickness of that curve you have here, because this is a CS socket, right? A carbon steel socket. Now the height here is given to be what? 18, as you can see. So I'm going to measure a height of what? 18 here. So from 0, and I'll measure, this is 20, so 18 should be somewhere around here. Hope you can see that. Now I'm going to use to form a box this way. Remember, I'm always placing my t-square, my set square, my t-square. So when I do this, I'll just draw my faint lines first because it's a curve that is there. So we use our knowledge in drawing isometric circles to do that. So when I place this way, I can stop anywhere around here. I can just take it to the end if I want to. Now the next step here, since it is a circle that is there, there must be the same length, right? So that means the length from this point to this point here, right, is the same as from here to here. So I'll use my instrument and I'm going to place it on my t-square the way it is this way. Then I'll draw here from here straight down, and I'll connect this to it from here also straight down. Right, now the next step is I can bring here down to in this manner, right, and also bring here down to in this manner, which I'm going to connect this to that point. So I don't really need to draw the line. I just have to just mark here, or if you like you can just draw it. I don't want too much of lines, but let me just draw it out. So this is what we have here. Now once we do that, we will now join the diagonals, the longest diagonal. This from here to here, this is step 1. After you've drawn out this shape here, you now join the longest diagonal. Can you see that? And once you've drawn the longest diagonal here, you come here also, you try and connect this to this end to this end, but you not draw it, just mark on that longest diagonal. Can you see that? So that point you see here, you will now take your instrument to get the center of that box. Like from that mark you mark here, you just draw a line across it in 2 places, x, y, x and z axis. Can you see that? So it means that from here to here is half of from here to here. So if from here to here is 76, that means from here to here should be what? 38. Is that taking? Or you can just take your instrument and just measure 38 here and also 38 here, then you just join. And also the same thing happens too. But the best way to get it accurately is doing this way. Now once we've done that, I can now start marking it out by saying this is point 1. It's not necessary, but just for understanding sake, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, point 6, point 7, and what? Point 8. Now what I will do is, depending if you like, you can take from point 3 and point 7. The choice is yours. So me, I'm going to take from point 7, draw an inclined line connecting to point 2, and I'll take from still that same point 7, and I'll connect it to what? Point 4. You see, if I come from 3, then I'll connect it to 8, and I'll connect to what? 6, any of the two you want to do. So I'm having this point here and what? And here. So I'm going to take my instrument now. Once I place my instrument at this point here, alright, once I place at this point here, I'm going to draw a semicircle. I'm going to do what? I'll draw a semicircle. Sorry. Can you see that? And I'll come to this point where they meet here. I'll also draw another semicircle, another arc here, from this point here. Hope you can see that. Now, the next step is, since I joined diagonal from here to here, I also join diagonal from this point to this point. Right? Then I'll transfer this point downward. So this point you see here, I'll transfer it downward on that diagonal. So it means, and I'll bring it down from here, this end. I'll take it down to touch here. Hope you can see that. And I will take it from this point. And I'm going to draw the other guy too here. Can you see that? And I'll come at this end also here, depending on where you want exactly. And I'm going to connect this end to this end. One single line. Right? Hope you can see that. So it means that if you take the diagram very well, this semicircle here, I will extend the line from this point straight down to the other point here. That means from here, I'll draw a straight line that will connect this straight down to here. Right? And similarly, I'll draw a line that will connect this from this line straight down up here. Can you see that? Then after that, the next thing will be, from here, which is at this point, you measure 56, as you can see. So I'm going to measure 56 from here, from 0, and this is 56 here. That point, I will now take the figure upward this way, the vertical line, which will help me. I'll connect here too, this way, and also I'll connect here too, this way, and also I'll connect here too, as you can see from the screen, this way, and also I'll connect here too, this way, and I'll bring it down to this way, and also I'll connect this end to this end. Right? Then after that, the next thing is, we have a web there. There's a web connecting this side, but before I do that, I have to draw the inner part here, and that part here is given to be what? 13. You measure 13 at every point. What I mean by every point, from this end point here, you measure 13. This is 10, 11, 12, 13 here. Right? Here also 10, 11, 12, 13 here. Can you see that? And here also. So I'll just do that for every point. I'll just take my instrument here. Then this is the point here to this point. I'll come here also, I'll do the same thing from here to here. I'll come here and do the same thing too. From here to here. I'll come here and do the same thing too. From here to here. Then I'll now join them together. So with the help of my instrument, I'll have this way. Also here too, I'll have this way. I'll come here to connect here. I'll not complete it. Here also, connect here, right? And similarly, I'll close it up. I'll come here too. I'll close it up. Hope you can see that. And I am going to now draw this straight downward this way. Right? So the next thing here is to draw the web that is there. Then first of all, I need to locate the center of this distance from here to here. So like I always tell you, remember that this is the end of this point here. So I can easily just join diagonals to get the center point. Or simply, if I should draw this line this way, faint line, where this 8 and 4 line, which is the center of this figure, where they are meeting here. Hope you can see that. And I am going to now take that point up this way. So we know that the thickness of that particular web you see there is 22. So I'm going to measure 11 at both sides. Right, so in measuring 11 at both sides, with that, I'm going to use my meter rule. And if I place it this way, look at what I want to do. From 0 here, this is 10 and this is 11. This is 10 also and this is 11. Right? So from that point alone is enough. But if you want to measure, you can still measure 11, 11 here. And also 11, 11, anyhow you want to. But since I'm using my instrument, I only need 1 point to get all points. So when I place it this way on my set square, my T-square, I'll just from here, I will draw a line. Since I know it is sticking, I'll take it to this point. I'll stop at that curve. That's where this curve. And from here too, I'll take it up and I'll stop here. Right? And I'm going to join this diagonal from this end to this end here. Hope you can see that. Similarly, I'll do the same thing here too. But be very careful here. From here, I'll draw a line, front line first to touch that line. And I'll trace it up. Right? So just connect from this end to this end. So I'll stop here. Hope you can see that. And complete the job here by connecting this to this. Right? So we are not done yet. We still have to draw a circle here. Right? So we can still do the same thing to get the center point. Since we are told that the circle from here to here is given to be 30, we have 32. So I'm going to measure 32 from this end. I'm going to measure what? 32 from this end. We know it's half 32. If from here to here, just measure 32, or we know from here to 64. You can just join diagonal if you want to, but let me just measure the 32 here. So this is 31, this is 32 here. Right? And I'm going to bring it down. Front line first. And similarly, I'll now measure half of this. As you can see, we're having 38 there, 36 there, right? So on that line, I'm going to measure 36. So from 0 to 36 here. Right, this is the center point. So that is where I'm going to draw my line to pass through. So take it this way, and you draw this, right? You can bring everything down. Now, what is the diameter of that circle? It says 2 by diameter 25. That means we have 2, this and this. So we'll just take half of 25, which is 12.5. So from 0, this is 10, 12, this is 0.5 here. And I'll place it here. And I'll mark up, down, left, and right. And I'll use it to form a box in this manner. This, 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 this. Then we join the diagonals from here to here. This. Can you see that? So once you've done that, you can easily, just like what we did here, pick this end or this end, and you connect from here to this side, and you connect from here to this side. Or you pick this end, you connect from here to here, you connect from here to here, depending on how you want it. So this is what we need here. So I can take my instrument, and I'm going to draw my circle. So here too. Then here too. Now at the end of the video, I'll drop the link on the section part of this diagram here. So come here too. Can you see that? That is one, and there's another one inside because it's an hollow, this pipe there, hollow point. The thickness from here to here will be what we need. So see what I want to do here, right? There's an arc here. I only need this arc here. So what I'll simply do is I will just extend here this pattern here inward, so you don't have to stretch yourself. Then the length from this point to this point, which is the thickness, I'll come to this point and I'll mark. So it is from this point here that I know that I have an arc from here to this point. Can you see what I'm doing? And the other will be from here, and I'm going to connect. Hope you can see that. Now there's another one that we have at this point here, right? So that is coming at this point here. So what I'll simply do here is this. This arc you see here, what I can see is here. So I'm going to project it down. Then I'm going to pick this point to touch that line I need, which is this line here. Can you see that? That is where I want to draw my arc. Then from that line, I can just still extend it if I want to. Then I'll connect this other end to it here. Just transfer the point. Hope you can see that. So what I will simply do, since I want to get this curve here, this particular curve, so I just do the same thing from here to this point. So when I come here, I can easily get what I want. But be careful. So let me just bring it down out fully. So you can take it down and also transfer the point from here also here. Then you connect it. Right? So this is the diagonal here. I'm using faint line now, mind you. So what I want to do exactly here is this point is this point. This point is this point all together. So it will not really show the way I want it to show. I want to get this curve. So this diagonal to be here. So marking from here to here. So see what I want to do. So when I place it at this point, I got this arc. So if I place it here too, I'll get this arc. Hope you can see that. So that's the arc that we have there. So as it is this way, we successfully reproduce the given figure that you can see at the left hand side of the screen. Let me make this more visible. So we have successfully reproduced it, as you can see. So in the next video, which will be the link I am posting at the top right corner of the screen, we'll be looking at when you section this, what will you see? You want to draw it in first angle projection. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share to this channel. Share the video. Thanks for watching.